Oh, snap. It's time to yap. And I'm your host, Big C, and welcome to another episode of Just Yapping. Today's episode, I want to cover people and what they're wearing nowadays, especially like when they go to certain events. I'm probably just going to hit on, especially gentlemen out there, how to maybe, you know, spice up your wardrobe. Now, I'm not a big fan on fashion and stuff like that. Like, I just know that when there's certain events that you go to as a person, and as you get older, from a young adult to my old butt, what to wear, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate for certain events. All right. And also maybe like how I kind of like grew up and what fashion was like when I was growing up, so you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from. Yes, and I know my little guy says it all the time. Yo, dad, you old. Times have changed, and you got to do this and that. Oh, it's not that, it's bruh, bruh, right? Everything bruh. So you don't understand, bruh. So I'm gonna touch on that real quick, and I have to tread carefully when we talk about our lovely women out there. Wifey was like, "You better be careful," but I'm not doing it to disrespect the females, and I'm just like, you understand what I'm saying when I get there. So we'll go. So here we go. So fashion. There's been so many different types of fashion when I was growing up, right? For me it was a little different, because everybody wanted to be in the trend, and for me it was the hip hop era, where Run DMC back in the day brought out the shell top Adidas, and everybody had to have them, but some couldn't afford it, like myself and stuff. So we had to go across the street and get the hand, not the hand me downs, but the ones that like were kind of like Adidas shell top, but they didn't say Adidas shell top. They said more like Skippy. So my people out there, you know what I'm talking about, little Skippies, right? But and then as I got older and stuff, of course, I was able to work and afford stuff like that. But by that time, that trend was over. But again, going back, it was like Run DMC stuff, and it was hip hop, and it was all this stuff. Then it was the Tommy Hilfigers and stuff, and Polo, and Gucci, and Le Tigre, and all that other stuff. So people were looking fly, and a lot of young people might not know now, like um, Tommy Hilfiger and those type fashion designers were, I think, in my opinion, I think that the hip hop industry took those companies and stuff to where they are today. I mean, could they have done it without the hip hop community? Yes. But I think that it was more like, hey, we are a certain culture and a certain group of people that you might think are below the radar as far as not having money and all that. But in hip hop, when I make money, I'm going to show you that I can afford it, type thing. And I think it was that. Plus, it was like everybody had the style and it was fresh. And I had Tommy Hill when I got older, in my late teens. Tommy Hill figure out, that's all I wore. Not all the time, but I wore. If I could save money and afford it, I go out and buy some Tommy Hill, and it was it. And then the females, I guess the females would wear Tommy Hill and all that other stuff. But anyway, as we fast forward to where we are today, let's say like 20, 30 years fast forward, times have changed. I remember, growing up where even going to like certain events, like even I didn't go all the time, but when I went either with my mom or I went with a couple of friends of mine, their parents are super religious, and I'm not super religious. I'm just saying, um, that I remember, like, if I used to stay over my friend's house and his mom would be like, "We're going to church on Sunday, so if we go to church, you better dress properly." And I'd be like, "Yes, okay, no problem." And I'd be like, "Ma, I have to wear like, my little shoes and little slacks and a little shirt." But my boys, my boy's mom, he always used to wear like a 3-piece suit, like that polyester stuff that even in the summertime, be sweating bricks because it was so hot in there. It's like wearing a plastic bag. But anyway, it was things like that. Like you would go to like certain events, to weddings, like to weddings, you would dress nice, and even to the pre-wed, like at the church ceremony and stuff, like people will come out and in nines and dressed to the nines and looking nice and all that other stuff. And and then we get to the sad parts, like funerals and wakes and all that, and people would dress, to celebrate that person's life and the sorrow and all that other stuff, to to look nice, it's very respectful. And this is where I came from. And even I think when I was younger, I freaking wore a suit to, to get on a plane to go somewhere, and stuff like that. But those days have changed, like, the young generation and stuff like that, man. And even in some adults, I see that now. Like, people, like, I shouldn't say that they don't care, because I don't know their financial, situation and stuff, so I can't really talk about it. And I don't want nobody getting upset at me, but I'm just saying, I'm being truthful. Like, there's certain artists today that like design stuff that are really, to me, they're just like, they look like rags and curtains and stuff like that, and it's super expensive. Like, why wouldn't you want to look nice? You understand what I'm saying, to certain events? But it just, some people, to me, like, what are you wearing? Like, you look super raggedy. Like, I can take my big quilt off my bed and put it on with a belt and stuff, and I look fly to some people. But anyway, so, getting back, I kind of said I was going to tread very carefully on this topic. It's only because I don't want to feel like, especially women, I'm going to disrespect you, but I'm not. I'm just being truthful. I'm being honest. There were certain things that I feel that even your friend, I would think your friend would tell you, because I know how girls are. And listen, it's to the point where I shouldn't say girls, I should say women, because eventually you will grow up to be women, right? So you want to be respected by all. And it's good, because there's some women out there that really don't care. And that's awesome. That's great. But, there's certain points and parts to where you go that you probably should care a little bit, whether you feel like it's disrespectful or not. Like, for proven example, like, if you go to a park, like especially a water park where there's children around, I think whether you have a nice body or not, I feel that you should have appropriate swimwear, right? Um, if you listen, if you want to show it off, more power to you, but don't show it off where there's going to be children. But then people are like, oh, but if you go to a beach, there's children there. Yeah, but a water park is more family orientated, where there's kids, young kids, and kids are gonna be like, what's that? I saw booty, man. I saw boobies and stuff. Great, all right, but I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, and I can't tell you what to wear. So I'm just saying, like, it should be more of an appropriate setting. Because I have seen, and there's certain videos of like people would say, even other women would be like, girl, you should not be wearing that. And I'm talking about like the G-string bikini at a swim, and like itty bitty nothings. And then guys, pick up your shorts, like, because nobody wants to see your handbag, you know what I'm saying? Or stuff like that. Like, your pubes showing. Nobody wants to see that. So just, be a little respectful is what I'm trying to say. Some of you might give me comments and be like, yo, shut up. You know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, giving you my opinion. Right. What about on your norm? Like, what about going to like a wedding? Right. I've seen people go to, like the church ceremony and stuff, and just like, I get it. But even guys, flip flops and shorts and like a t-shirt, but it's somebody's ceremony. They want you there to share their life. Not, some people do it because they're like, well, the bank or whatever, the after wedding, I forgot what you call it, but anyway, um the reception is like, is not for another 3 hours or whatever, and I ain't getting I agree with you, but maybe wear something, you know um fashionable prior to that. Like, maybe just slacks. If you want to wear flip-flops, maybe wear some boat shoes with no socks on, and a nice collared shirt or something to look halfway presentable, like, semi-formal, or something nice. um Getting together, with some people at a nice restaurant to have dinner, like for men, instead of saving money to go buy PlayStation or buy something that's, to me, unnecessary, go out and spend a couple dollars on a nice pair of shoes, so you have them somewhere to use. Excuse me. Or or a nice pair of slacks, or a nice shirt, or a nice tie, or nice sport jacket. Now, I'm not saying when I go out, I do all that, but when I go out, I try to, for the occasion, I try to dress for the occasion. Okay. Um, and I'm not saying go out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on. If you haven't, more power to you. But I'm just saying in general, look presentable, look, because the way I think that the way you dress or the way your children dress, and that's another story, the way your children dress represents the type of people that you are. And where, like, maybe like where you come, what you're trying to show, and all that other stuff. But I think more it all falls more into the respect type area, right? Or hey, you look fantastic. And to some point, really, do you look fantastic? If you feel fantastic, good for you. But I think we as people tell our friends, especially guys, somebody, yo, bro, you like, you shouldn't be wearing that, or, I think it's a little different for women, because women, I think, feel like, girl, I don't care what you say, I'm wearing whatever I want to wear. And it's true. I mean, should you care what people think? Absolutely not. But again, you should have some type of, some, if you want to feel great, then you should look great. You shouldn't want to feel great and think you do, and then people are like, what was he wearing, or what was she wearing, or what were they wearing, right? Um, because we all get to the trend where, yo, bro, what you wearing today? What you wearing today to the club? I'm gonna wear some shoes. I'm gonna wear slacks. And oh yeah, cool. I'm right, because it's almost all the same. Or like if you're gonna go to a bar and hang out with your friends, what you're wearing? Oh, I'm gonna wear a polo shirt with some jeans and whatever. Fight. And also weather plays a role in what you wear. Obviously, you're not gonna wear a sundress in the winter when it's snowing, right? And men, you're not gonna wear shorts with flip flops and a tank top in the winter, right? You dress for the time, winter, and the weather and all that stuff, right? But I'm just saying, like, I think that other females don't want to disrespect your friend, but I just think it's being honest and being like, hey, I think you should wear this, because, a few times, like, I've been to places with my wife, and my wife dresses very nice, she's very respectful, and she wears what she wants because she feels good about herself, so she's gonna wear it. But and she always second guesses herself, and sometimes I do, because I'm a little husky, I'm a little chunky, and sometimes, like, I'll put on, let's say, like, a shirt that I feel like it's too loose, that'll make me look heavier, right? Or you know or certain body parts that might be poking out more than others up top, you know what I'm saying? And be like, hey, you got man boobies or whatever, so I'm kind of like, I'm not self-conscious, but I'd be like, yo, does this look right? Does it look okay? Oh, you look great. All right. So you definitely don't, especially guys to your girls, you definitely don't want to feel like you're disrespecting by a girl, like, you shouldn't be wearing that. No, be like, oh, maybe you should wear white, or maybe you should wear blue, or maybe, maybe you shouldn't wear white because your underclothing shows, or whatever. Just be honest and be like, hey, maybe you should wear this instead of that, right? Because women always like, which one, the blue or the red, or whatever. Like, guys don't care, but like, yo, wrinkled iron, I don't care. But still, there's certain, certain wear, right, that you should put on for certain occasions. And I think too much that we as a people, because it's simple, and I do it even when I go to work, but I'm going to work, right? In the line that, the stuff that I do for work, like, I work, all I got to do is just, because I change at work, I have work clothing, so I go there and do my stuff. But like, I'll wear a hoodie, and I'll wear sweats, and I'll wear, if I have comfortable shoes, I'll put them as slip-ons, whatever, but then I'm changing. But those sweatsuits from certain designers look horrible, and people that I know, they wear that stuff all the time. Like, change it up a little bit. Like, you're going to a family event, or you're going to meet people at a graduation, or don't wear a sweatsito. And people don't understand what a sweatcedo is. It's a sweatsuit tuxedo. Stop wearing those things, man, for real. Like, there's no need for it. Like, like, fine, again, go out and get yourself a nice shirt. If you're gonna spend money on, I can't say the name. I said some stuff before, some names, but I'm talking about now because I don't follow them and I don't protect, because I don't say what the product is, because in their fashion line there's been a lot of mixed reviews and I don't care for them. But there's certain, like you're gonna spend, I spent like $2,000 on a pair of Bepal carajo shoes, you know what I'm saying? And it's not cool. Like, I've seen a pair of shoes that I'm like, why would you wear that? But it's what people like, and it's what fashion, and it's what in, because people are gonna see you and they'd be like, yo, those whatever's are fly, they're cool, man. Where'd you get them? I want to get a pair. And it's a trend. It's people, like in the summertime, women, what are you wearing? I'm gonna wear a dress. Me too. And it's all like, you look at a picture and all the females are the same, which is great. Again, because it's a trend. Guys, what are you doing? You let's take a picture, and it's all collared shirts and polo slacks and book shoes and all that, the preppy look and all that other stuff. But you look presentable, right? But there's certain people that just don't care and just wear whatever they want to wear to church. I see young adults, when I used to stand by and do guard duty at churches and stuff like that. You're walking into church with flip flops, man, and shorts and booty printer pants, girls, and like tank tops, and like I sometimes I get lost and I'm like, whatever. Or you know, certain uh certain people shouldn't um fit into certain things because maybe it just doesn't fit you correctly. And again, I know there's certain people out there that are just like, I don't care, I'll wear what I want to wear. But you have to be respectful. You have to, if you want people to respect you, wear the right stuff. Don't let I shouldn't, I be careful, but just don't let stuff be all over the place. Like, get a mirror and look in the mirror. If you feel like, maybe I shouldn't wear, you're right, maybe you shouldn't. And again, I'm not here to disrespect anybody, because I'm just saying, like, I'm giving you a little heads up, like, maybe you should be a little more presentable in where you go, because there's certain again, there's certain attire that you should have on when you go to certain places. It's just it is, it's just that. Would you want somebody to come to your wedding? And again, not all weddings are indoors. Some of them are outdoors. And I get it. And people will be like, hey, save the date and wear like cowboy boots. And see, that's cool, because you're setting that tone. You're setting that what the wedding is going to be about, right? Which is really, really cool. But I'm saying in general, like, if everybody tells you, hey, come to my graduation party, and everybody wear white and you wear purple, right? You're basically like, yo, why that dude wearing purple? Or why is that girl wearing purple? They're gonna talk. Just in general, just in normal fashion, people are gonna talk, because they're like, yo, what, like, what's wrong with that person? Oh my God, I saw that girl's booty when she bent over because she wasn't wearing underwear. And that's so inappropriate, and all that stuff. It's just like when somebody goes to certain occasions like that and they get drunk and they act stupid, and then people are gonna talk. And again, some people are like, I don't care, talk all you want, but it's not good. As we get older, it's not good. You want to be presentable, period. I go to my son's events, to his band concerts and all that other stuff. And to them, it's a special occasion, especially these children. They're going to know, like, and even some children, and I understand there are people going out through hard times and stuff, but even that, they're like, get your kids, like, make them look nice, and I don't want to wear that, because I probably was the same way when I was younger. But like, maybe you should, pick out something nice for them to wear. It's only one time for a few hours. Just suck it up, buttercup, right? And just do what you got to do. But, even parents take a little and I understand that if you came from work just now and your hair is, I have no hair, but I'm saying your hair is a mess, or like you, or, especially men, you're in construction, and look, the most important thing is that you're there for your kid, or those that don't have kids, that you're just there for your friend or your nephew or whomever, right? You want to look kind of presentable. And I think kids and young teens and whatever, they remember that stuff. Like, yo, I remember you came to my graduation. Yeah, but you came in like a sweatcito, stuff like that. You always want to keep that into consideration. Um, but again, I don't want to keep going on what we should and shouldn't wear. And again, if you feel comfortable in wearing it, then wear it. More power to you. But again, maybe take a look at what you're wearing before you do your thing, before you throw it on, right? Maybe put some lights on in the house, and maybe you get dressed in the dark and are really not sure. All right, guys, again, if you're gonna want to spend some money on some stuff, again, buy a nice pair of shoes and buy a couple of pair of slacks and some nice button-up shirts and be presentable. You know what I'm saying? Or and these young kids got their wild haircuts. Get a haircut. We yell at our little guy all the time because his hair in the beginning is always nice, and he's like, I want to look this way, I want to look nice, and then a week later he looks like a mushroom head. And that's just the high. I want to look like Justin Bieber or whatever those kids are doing right now. But listen, again, that's a trend, right? Um, so again, I'm just giving you guys a little insight, and maybe you guys should change it up a little bit. Um, we'll see where that goes from here. So I hope I was able to give you some details on what certain people should wear and what you shouldn't wear, and be truthful. If your friend says, hey, how do I look, and be like, all right, well, it's winter, maybe you shouldn't wear those open toe shoes, or give them certain advice, and maybe they'll feel better about themselves instead of just being, oh, I look good. Maybe be like, well, maybe you shouldn't put that on. All right, it's just a little bit of advice. So I think that's my time. I think I drag it on. I'm usually like 17, 18 minutes long. I'm up to like 22 minutes. People are going to be like, yo, this guy's boring. But I try not to be. I try to just be insightful and give you some good stuff. All right. So I wish you guys a great weekend, because this is football playoff weekend. I hope you guys sit down to enjoy it if you do love football. And enjoy and be safe out there. Stay motivated. Okay. So I think this is my time. I'm Big C. Peace.